Hello, everyone. So, today we're going to be looking at the nerd news. My name is Nerdtron, and we're just going to be focusing on the week of the news from 5/31/25. So, first, they announced that Laura Linney will be starring in Lanterns. Personally, I don't have any association with her. I haven't seen anything that she's starred in. Um, but looking at her filmography, it seemed that she had a very prominent role in Ozark. That's a show that I've heard very good praise about, and I've been meaning to watch it, but just haven't really gotten the chance to. Um, so it's very interesting to see them start to build out the cast for this show. We're still at the very baseline information, so we don't really know anything that's going to happen in the series so far, or the fact that John and Hal are both going to be in the show, and that at the beginning of the show, John isn't going to have his ring yet. So, no idea necessarily who she could be playing. Um, I mean, she could be playing Star Sapphire. Wouldn't be that surprising, noting that she is looking like she'll be around the same age as Hal, and it's just a very different take with Hal and for the Lantern Corps. But as a large fan of the Green Lanterns, I've very excited for it. So off to our next topic. The Penguin showrunner Lorne Le says that the Batman spin-offs are in early stages of development. They to this date have not released any information on what those spin-offs would be, but most likely I have a feeling one of them will be about Harvey Dent and before he becomes Two-Face, and I think that'd be a really interesting show focusing on him in his early stages of being in the DA position, or maybe before he becomes the DA and he's just a very well known lawyer in Gotham City, and seeing his emergence going from a lawyer to becoming the DA to becoming the person that the Batman and Jim Gordon both heavily rely on to make sure that crime is actually stopped in the city. So, other than that, we don't really have any other information from it, but hopefully we'll get some of that coming up soon. Off to the next topic. The first Marvel slash DC Comics crossover in several years is happening again with Batman slash Deadpool. It is a two-shot comic that will be released. One of them by Marvel, written by Zeb Wells, and the other one for DC, written by Grant Morrison. Now, Zeb Wells has been writing for Spider Man for a good bit now. Um, he's got countless Spider Man titles under his name. Um, haven't really read anything from him, so don't really have any perception of what to look at for it. But on the other hand, with the Grant Morrison title, Grant Morrison has a bit on his belt from DC. He's going to be the new writer going forward um, with Batman, and that's a series that I'm definitely wanting to pick up. And he also was involved with All Star Superman and Batman and Robin, which was the introduction to Damian Wayne Robin. So he definitely is well known with the characters of DC, and he is pretty good at writing for Batman, noting all the other Batman titles that are under his belt too. So this is a very interesting tie-in together. Um, I don't think anyone would have predicted that Batman and Deadpool be the ones teaming up together. But, you know, to each their own. That probably means that they have a really interesting story worked up for it, and we'll see where it goes. Whenever the issues release, I'm gonna be picking both of them up, so I might make a video talking about them. But I got really high hopes for it. I got some really fond memories of the last time that DC and Marvel did a collaboration like this. Um, I really loved the Dark Claw comics, which was the amalgamation of Batman and Wolverine into one character. So it's kind of interesting to see Batman teaming up with the Merc with the mouth this time and not Wolverine. So we'll see where that goes. Next, they released the first poster for Gen V Season 2. Um, I really loved Gen V Season 1. I think it's one of the better spin off shows to another major property at the moment. Um, it was one of those shows that, even without watching The Boys, if someone did, they could still really enjoy this series. It was very interesting seeing the perception of all these characters growing up in a society where heroes are among them, but it's quite also known that these heroes aren't necessarily the best people. And I really love this show. I'm gonna need to rewatch it again before season two comes out because I have forgotten a lot of things that happened in the show. But the poster looks really good. It's pretty basic, but you know, the show, I got much faith in it. It hasn't disappointed me yet, and I don't think that season two is gonna start that path up. Now to the next topic. Um, this is a very interesting one, noting the uh, personal situations with the creator of it. Um, they have announced the main three actors and actress that will be starring in the Harry Potter TV series. Now, I think, like most people, it's obvious that I would not support what J.K. Rowling says, but I don't think I'm in the minority with that statement. Got a feeling that majority of people who are interested in Harry Potter do not agree with what she has said. But so first, Dominic McLaughlin will be playing Harry. Arabella Stanton will be playing Hermione, and Alastair Stout will be playing Ron Weasley. Now, I will say they're very young, obviously, but they do look the part of the characters. So, very interested to see their performances in the show. Um, I I haven't looked, but I'm pretty sure none of these kids have starred in anything before. So this is going to be their big break, and they will be known for these characters the same way that Daniel Radcliffe is known for playing Harry in the movies. So very interesting to see this show. Um, I I don't have a lot of faith in it just because knowing that JK is going to be attached to it. So it's very interesting situation with the show, but you gotta. I'm gonna watch it though, so we'll see where that goes. Now to the next topic. Oh boy. Um, Mark Ruffalo is rumored to be returning as Bruce Banner slash the Hulk in Spider-Man Brand New Day.
What the fuck?
I don't know where this came from. I'm very much hoping that this is a rumor that just stays as a rumor. Um, Other than maybe one title here and there that says that Hulk shows up in something for a fight or two, there's not really any big notable comics that has the Hulk show up in Spider-Man. Um, Also noting that he is Smart Hulk now. I don't understand why he would be in this movie. Um, it might be a situation where Sony and Disney just want to put another character that's already established in the MCU inside of not the comic, the movie, um, just to keep that association with the MCU. Like, people don't obviously already know that Spider-Man movies take place in the MCU. But, you know, to each their own. Um, the more information that comes out about this movie, I don't I don't have as much faith as I was hoping for. I was really hoping they were going to be going down the route of having Mr. Negative be the main villain, but due to the Disney product show that they had a week or two ago, it seems like the main villains are going to be Tombstone, Scorpion, and Boomerang. Um, I'm not opposed to those villains. I've wanted Scorpion back for a while, um, but it's definitely seeming like it's going to be a street level movie. But at this point, we know very baseline information, and to even point at those Disney product show again, um, we don't even technically know that they will for sure be the villains, because this was just a situation where Disney was telling these companies that make products that they're going to want to make products revolving around these characters. So this could be a situation where they're wanting to make products for characters that aren't even going to be in the movie because they're wanting to hide the actual plot of the movie, just like they did with No Way Home. Now, I don't think this is a movie that's going to have any characters as big as the ones in No Way Home, but, you know, they stay very more secretive the more time goes on, so it would not be the most surprising thing in the world if they did this for the movie. And now to the first looks at Eyes of Wakanda, a 4-part animated anthology series that follows warriors throughout Wakandan history tasked to travel the world retrieving dangerous vibranium artifacts. Now, I am very interested in the show. The art style for it looks phenomenal, and it it has the place to do very interesting things that aren't adaptations from the comic, and just letting these animators create their own story and use characters that they create themselves to just go throughout history and look at Wakandan's past and show their perception of always wanting to hide vibranium from the other parts of the world. So I'm very interested in this show. I'll be doing a review for it whenever it comes out, but you know, I I'll probably gonna be making more videos whenever we hear more information about it because I'm very, very interested in this show. Now, we only have baseline information. We only have 3 photos that they released. So, it's interesting to see what they're doing so far with it.
Topic. Christopher Corey says he included Green Lantern in his pitch for the Man of Steel sequel. His quote was, "I suddenly realized how they had amazing similarities, which also allowed the amazing conflict and an amazing universe expanding resolution." Now, I have been quite vocal online for my disdain for the Snyderverse and the entire movement that Snyder's fans have had post the emergence of James Gunn's universe. So, personally, I'm not really gonna miss this getting a sequel to that movie. Um, but it would have been very interesting to see how Jordan in this universe, since technically only through deleted shots we were gonna get John Stewart. So it's interesting to see that so far for the movie. And then now going over to Peacemaker. So we have gotten our first look at Michael Rooker as Red Saint Wild in Peacemaker Season 2. And it says he will be Eagly's nemesis in the series. Now, I'm guessing that means he's a poacher. From what it looks like online, there is no comic association with this character, and he's a character that James is making up for the show. He could be a character where he's changing the name of the character, so that is also another situation that could be happening. But I got a feeling this is going to end up being someone that most people who watch the show are not going to like him because, everyone loves Eagly. Eagly is one of the best characters in the show. He's very heartwarming, he's very sweet, and, no one wants to see a pet get hurt. So most people are probably not going to like him. And it looks like he has some past of taking out birds before, noting on the feathers that he has all over his necklace on his chest. So, very interesting to see. Not surprising, Michael Rooker is going to be in it because, James does like working with a select set of people that he has worked with in the past. And, to each their own. He has a very established set of people that he likes working with. So if I was in his position, I'd probably be doing the same thing. So it's also nice because Michael Rooker is a really great actor too, and I don't mind seeing more of him in different roles. So, hopefully he'll be a character we don't hate too much in Peacemaker Season 2. So now to the last topic, staying on Peacemaker. James Gunn teases that Peacemaker Season 2 will include a bunch of other characters in other parts of the DCU and from Superman. Quote, "There might even be one really, really, really big cameo near the end of the show." Now, would not be surprised if Superman shows up himself, or, if this is where we get the inclusion of Batman or one of the other members of the League. We do already know from the trailer that Guy Gardner and Hawkgirl are both going to be showing up, but with Maxwell Lord. So we know no idea on who could be showing up. James likes to pull things out of most random parts of DC and use them as large roles. So this could literally be anybody. But personally, I got a hunch that it might end up being just Superman because he's he's the guy that James has been working with the most recently. So, and Superman showing up to try and get Peacemaker to join a larger form of the League, like with Justice League Unlimited, where they have a very, very large Justice League. I will not be too surprised about that, and it'd be very interesting to see John Cena's Peacemaker revolving around other members of the League and see how a lot of them thinks what he does is quite extreme. But so yeah, that's the rest of the news that we have for this week so far. Um, Please go down and leave a comment of how you feel about some of this news. If you feel that some of them are wrong, or if you feel like there's certain other things that I should have mentioned also, and if so, I'll probably highlight it in the comments. Um, Subscribe if you feel like you enjoy watching, and leave a like if you enjoyed. So, thank you, and I'll see you next week.